This weekend, we both commemorate and celebrate the 75th anniversary of VE Day, victory in Europe in 1945, a victory over tyranny and evil of which this country should be proud. In a speech to the nation on VE Day, wartime Prime Minister Winston Churchill said, "We may allow ourselves a brief period of rejoicing, but let us not forget for a moment the toils and efforts that lie ahead. It should not be forgotten that whilst the war in Europe was over, the war in the Far East raged on for a further 3 months, costing many more lives." As we commemorate the 75th anniversary of VE Day, we should remember the sacrifice of the wartime generation. Those who went abroad to fight, and all too many of whom did not return, and those who stayed at home, but contributed in so many different ways to the victory that came in 1945, and which we are celebrating this weekend. Across Cheshire East, we have many war memorials. When you can next safely visit your local town centre, or find yourself walking past your village memorial, please pause for a moment to look at the names of those who died and remember their sacrifice. When we can once more travel to Europe, North Africa, and the Far East, please visit the many war cemeteries and read some of the inscriptions written and left in stone by the families of those who died in the service of their country. We are marking this anniversary at a very difficult time in our country's history. Only a few short months ago, we could not have anticipated that we would be experiencing a lockdown with severe restrictions on our movements and a constant threat to our safety. Back in the wartime years, the country pulled together. It is doing so again today. In remembering and celebrating the achievements of 75 years ago, we should also celebrate the same heroism, courage, and selflessness of today. The nurses, doctors, paramedics, and other staff of our NHS, those caring for the infirm and most vulnerable in our society in care homes, the key workers who are keeping food on our tables, and those keeping us safe and keeping the country running. We should also remember the thousands of volunteers who every day are going the extra mile to help their fellow citizens. In these difficult times, we need to call upon the wartime spirit of 1945. In more normal circumstances, there would have been lots of outdoor events to mark this important anniversary, including a service in Westminster Abbey. Alas, they have all had to be cancelled. However, I do hope that you find your own way to remember what was a most remarkable time in our history. I would now ask my chaplain, the Reverend Ralph Kemp, also to say a few words.